Hey guys, this is what we're going to be building in this tutorial. We're going to be building this business card component with HTML and CSS. Now, you're going to need the starter files and a bunch of images to get started with the build. So I have captured the image, so this is what it looks like. So the first thing that I go is I'm going to go into our index.html file here. I'm going to call this, we'll title this, we'll call this business card component, whatever. Then what we're gonna come here and say we're gonna give it a class of container to center it. You could use the body to center it, but it doesn't really matter. Then I'm gonna have the actual card. So this card is gonna be broken down into two, the top and the bottom, essentially. So you could just say do this, break this down to top and break that into bottom. Save. Okay, now we have that nicely formatted. So in the top, it's just going to be easy. We're just going to add the image /, go into this image directory, and we're going to get this avatar. I think it's hero image. So as for the bottom, I'm going to do a little bit more styling here. What we just want to do is have a H for perfect solution for small business. Let's see, H for perfect solution for small business. And we want to notice something here is that there's a break tag. So inside the small, the business goes to another line. So we're gonna come here and put that break tag here. Okay. Now we want to have some text that says small business needs to generate leads to grow. Okay. Tag, you could just use random text here, but I want to use the text that's there. Save that. We have that here. So we have the bottom, but I feel like there's also a third one right here. In fact, instead of calling it card body, we just call this card. Instead of calling it card bottom, call it card body. I want to add a third div. Call this card dash footer. And inside here, we just want to just have this avatar kind of like stuff here, which is really easy to do. So what we do is I will add an image // inside this directory. We go to the avatar image right over here. Then what I do, we're gonna come here. We need to add this and this. So that's gonna be in one container. So we're gonna say container text. We could call this avatar. Well, let's just call it text for short. Okay. Text for short. But if you want to be more specific, you can call it avatar text. H5. No, we'll make this an H3. I'll make this one a H4. We'll call this we'll call this good the Roger. Okay, you could call it anything you want. It's just the matter. Customer manager and solution. So what we'll do is I'll add my paragraph. I'll say I'm just adding what I want here. So the text doesn't really matter. Okay, so add whatever text you want to add. Make sure it's not very long. Add your full stop. Okay, now we have that. So what you want to do is I want to link this file to our CSS. I know some of you are dying to know what this looks like in the browser. We're gonna do that in a minute. Okay, let's make sure Let's make sure our site is opened up, is correctly linked to this file, and we could easily do that by just saying body background red. So now what we can do is that we can come click on go live, and it should launch a it should launch a development server of our HTML. We can click live server so that when we save, we can see that changes right in the browser. If this is the first time you are doing this, you are gonna need to allow access. Okay. This is the design file from Dev Challenges though. Okay, it should pop up any minutes. Anywho, don't know why it's popping up in Edge. Maybe because Edge is the default browser. Edge is pretty. We don't want to use Edge right now, so copy this. We can see that our CSS is correctly linked up, and we can see it has that annoying background color. So we don't need to add this anymore. What we'll do is I'll take this and we'll split screen. We'll split the screen so that we can know what we are building properly. So we have our container. I want to make our container in the dead center of the screen. So to do that, we give it a display of flex. We give it a justify content of center, and align items of center, and a mean height of 100. So this, it gives it put in the flex container. It gives this centers on x-axis, y-axis, and if something is not taking up the full height, you're not going to see it centered on the y-axis. It's like, yeah, you're going to see it centered on the y-axis. So now you can see that this is perfectly in the dead center of that screen. Okay, card. We're just going to give this a width of 300 pixels. I want to say top, right? I want to say, first of all, I want to say image, or rather top image, because you could have multiple images. And yeah, we have multiple images, so we can just say image recklessly. So we'll just say image with 100%. So this is a very powerful statement. It will make it take the 100% width of its container. That is essential of putting it inside a container. And it's going to control it a little bit. Can see that makes more sense. You know what? Let's remove the top. Oh, sorry. Let's put it back. Let's put it back. Okay. I thought it would work for the other one, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Now, the font is not looking very good. So we're supposed to use a specific font, but I'm just gonna say everything font family sans serif. Important to override any other thing. So this is just temporary. It's not very good code, so that doesn't look. It looks a tad bit better. So we want to say our card footer image. We'll give this one a width of 100 pixels. Sorry, and height of. Or rather, I'll give it 50 pixels. 50 pixels fixed width. I think that's good. Then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give it a border radius of 50%. Okay, it's looking all right. You can come to the card footer, for example. Now I say card footer because we want it to be side by side. We could give this the display flex. Flex justify content. We'll add that later. Align items are center. So let's remove the justify content for now. Okay. It's not looking quite the best, but we have some colors that we're supposed to add actually. So I don't think the body is not white, so we can see those colors here. I think it's this one, background color. Yeah, we can see that proper. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come to the card and give the card a background color of white. Okay, now so we come back to that justify content of center. We'll give it center. Come back to that. So that centers it properly. So now I want to do is I want to say, okay, before we start, the card footer still has some problems though, but we'll get back to that in a moment. The card, I want to give it a padding of about 20 pixels. So this is why we broke it into sections. We don't want to give the card a padding because that will affect the image. So what we could do is that we could give the card body, card dash body, some padding. Isn't it called card body? Okay, just called it body. It's supposed to be card body. Save. Now let's address the card footer. I think the card should be a little bit bigger for my expectations. I think it should be about 320 pixels. 350. Now we have a much bigger card. So we'll give the card some border radius. So we'll say card border radius, I'll say 10 pixels or 20 pixels. It's only applied at the bottom. The image doesn't have that. So what we'll do is that we'll take this to the card, to the top div, and we'll give that to the top as well. So we'll say top, give it top, border top, top left radius, copy and paste, and top right radius. That's not working. Or maybe we should give it to the image. Now that's working. We can see that properly. So what we want to do is I want to say card footer. I want it to have that faint like border. So say card footer, I'll say border top. We'll give it that color. We'll say border top. Let's see, let's come to the style guide and explore different colors. Let's try this one. Border top, 1 pixel solid, this color. That is a black color. Let's try a different color and see what we get. It's a grayish color actually, so let's reduce the thickness. Okay, so let's try the first color that we had before. So the same color as the body. Okay, so I think that's the right color. So now this our card footer isn't looking very great. It isn't looking like it. So let's come and style it properly. I removed the justify, sorry. I've removed the justify content center. The align item center is on the y-axis. Okay, now we have that. So let's work with this properly. So we want to say card footer h4 and the card footer paragraph. So the h4 and the paragraph are inside the card footer. All want to give them, I want to give them a margin of 0. I want to give them a margin of 0. That's looking much better. So what we do to the card footer is I will simply give this a padding of 20 pixels like we did before for the card button. What we can see this now, we'll give this a justified content of space. We say space between. I don't think space between is going to quite cut it. Not space between. And I don't want it to be space around as well. So we can see there's a reason why I put this inside a text div, so we can move both of them as once. This is what I'm talking about. We can move it as once. So we'll say our card footer text inside the card footer. I will just say margin left 10 pixels. We could improve it and say margin left 20 pixels. And I think it's right about 15 pixels. Okay, that's looking good. And what we want to do is I would say we'll give it a margin of 0, but we'll say okay. We'll say card footer H4. We'll say margin bottom. We gave it a margin of 0 before, but we just want to just edit it and give it a little bit of margin. Margin bottom, maybe 5 pixels. Uh, 3 pixels. Okay, that looks better. So what we just need to do is the overlay. So let's see if how we can essentially do that. So add it as an image here, /. And if we put in the right font, I'm sure it's going to come out properly. But I'm not connected to the internet right now. So you can see our weird overlay stuff here. So what we just have to do is give it an absolutely position in there. So we say class of, we'll call this our overlay. So the thing in position is that position is relative to the parent element. So what that fancy English means is that this guy has a class of overlay, right? And parent element is the card body. So now to make it relative to the card body for us, so that it'll be easy for us, we say card body. Where are we using card body? So card body, we say position relative. Now our overlay, we'll give it position ab. Give it position absolute. Now it's going to be relative to our parent element. So this is going to give it position absolute. Now we can save this. It's now going to be absolute. It's going to be taken out of the normal document flow. So we can see our overlay top 20 pixels. And it's going to go down top 20 pixels relative from that point. Now we're going to use our browser to probably do this thing. Let's see how up we can go. Take it up. So I think 80 pixels is a bit too much. 70 pixels is kind of right. Then we'll shift it to the left and say left 20 pixels. Then we'll take our overlay and we'll scale it down. So we'll say scale. Take our overlay and we'll say scale 0.7, 0.9, 0.8, 5. So we'll take it left and position. It's not easy. So we need to, so giving it left minus 200 pixels in as right 200 pixels. So we want to position it in the center. So I think we have found our right angle. Okay, let's so take it and shift it. Nice, perfect. So we now have our overlay. So what we just do is I'll just take these styles and copy them right over here. Copy it. Come to our Visual Studio Code. Come to our overlay and paste the styles here. I feel like this text should be gray. Let's inspect our element and see how we can make it even better. So we might want to remove the padding top. Okay, so what I did was that I gave the card body paragraph a color of gray. We took out the padding top so that it looks kind of more like the design. So what is missing is that what can make it pixel perfect is the font. So the original fonts that we're supposed to be using is Poppins. And we'll get that in a moment. Okay, so I'm up at Google Fonts here from, don't worry, this link is going to be in the description down below. So what you just have to do is you just come here, click the import here, as you can see, just copy it. It's nothing hard about taking fonts. Fonts is pretty easy. So you also have to just come here, paste it, come here, and now we want to apply it properly. So now I want to come here, paste. Instead of doing this, which is not good, we can just, this is not necessary, so just give it to the body instead. Now when we come back here, now watch how it becomes pixel perfect. Okay, it is a bit, now it looks a little bit more like design, but I feel like the design card is much bigger, but because there is not a mobile view to this actually, so you can make it much bigger if you want. Maybe 400. This kind of looks more like design, but it affects our overlay, you know, so we'll have to adjust that. But let's see if we have, I don't think there's a mobile view for this. There is no mobile. Let's look at the mobile view. The mobile view is 640 pixels here. So if we are following a design spec, it should be the card can't be 300 pixels because that'll just be too short. We'll make this bigger, maybe 0.9. Then now that I've made that bigger, we'll reduce this so that it can. Let's just open up the browser, adjust it so our overlay is looking a little bit much better. But we might not even need to just give it a scale of 0.92 pixels or 93 or 95. Then we'll say left minus 30, sorry, minus 10. Increase the scaling a bit. And yeah, it's perfect. So this is what we built. This is what we were supposed to build. Okay, wait. Let's go down. But this is not allowing me to go down for some reason. Anytime I zoom in, trying to look at it. Why can't I scroll down? Okay. Let's zoom this out a little bit. Okay, now, so we got this. This is what we built, and this is what we got. It's not quite 100% pixel perfect, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good.